Oh, am I doing it?
Yes.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 16th episode of the Potatocast. I'm your host, Jason Ellis, joined by my co-host.
Wait a minute, Jason. Something isn't right. It's
What?
I don't know. It's just something doesn't feel right. Let me try something.
Okay.
Whoa! Holy shit!
What are you doing on my couch, joke?
Oh.
How'd you get here?
Teleportation.
Dang, that's kind of crazy.
God.
Let me just take a sip of this Fiji.
Wait a minute. Before you drink that Fiji.
I just took a sip of it already before we just started. What?
Yeah, but I think it's time to bust out the big boys.
Oh, I forgot I had these on my end tables. See, this is good because these were decorative pieces for the longest time, and now we get to use them.
Yep. That's good water.
Yes.
Sponsor us, Fiji.
Quality H2 Izzle.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 16th episode of the Potatocast. It's strange and familiar at the same time, because the original 4 episodes we were done in person, like in the same room.
Yep.
No, 5 episodes.
Yeah.
5 episodes. It was 5 because
Well,
Zach was the last one.
It was a lot more than 5. It's just technical difficulties.
Ones that aired, 5 of them were in person. But none of them were on video. Nobody's ever seen our faces, ever.
In the history of time.
Yeah, we're like a Corpse or Dream or who are some older ones that would not show their faces.
I don't know. You got me there.
Like the Masked Singer.
Sure, but they eventually reveal themselves like we're doing right now.
Right. Well, yeah, reveal, quote unquote reveal, as if everybody didn't already know what we looked like. They thought we were actually potatoes.
That's true. That's what we are.
It is kind of wild though that like, it's like, oh, we're back to normal, but really like our normal has been online, like on Discord.
Yeah.
Because of so 5 episodes before this were done in person. We have 15 episodes.
Yeah.
So we have double that amount that are online. That's the new normal, even though it doesn't feel like it. It's weird.
Right. It's just no, it is nice to finally do this and do this with you again in person. And I headed down to Jason's. And one of the things I thought we could do is we could do this, and that's kind of what we're doing. We're just, we're heading right into it. So,
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You could see him do that live now. Oh, great, fantastic. So yeah, Jason, I guess I'll ask you, what's going on?
Been real busy. I've been having these really 2 annoying guests in my house.
I see.
It's been really, I've been trying to act nice to them and stuff, but it's been real pain in my butt.
No, I get that.
Having to get up early in the morning and stuff like that. They made me get up super early to go to a zoo today. A zoo?
A zoo?
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but other than that, it's been okay, I guess.
Yeah.
They've been all right. They haven't, they...
No, I gotcha. Yeah, I'm kind of.
They've bought me Dunkin', so it's all's good.
I'm in a similar boat though. I have like this really strict host.
Really?
Yeah, you just keep setting all these rules. I can't do this. I can't do that.
Like an example?
No walking around naked. I walk around naked.
What?
I can't.
What is wrong with this guy?
Exactly, nuts. Okay, yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're staying. Me and my girlfriend, we're staying here at Jason's for the time being for like a week. Today's Thursday, so
they got another full day.
Another full day. Heading back on Saturday.
It's how have you been enjoying sunny Florida?
I hate heat. I knew that was gonna be like the number one issue, but I was expecting. You hear Florida, which is like the largest like conservative state. Or would that technically be considered Texas?
It would be like Texas. I think. Yeah, I think so. Because Florida, like the big hubs, like your Orlandos, your Tampas, your Miamis, those are more mixed, and I'd say even lean more towards the left. But I'd say in terms of rural Florida, it's all mostly conservative. But again, it's still a mix and stuff.
Right. But like,
I wouldn't say biggest. Did you mean like by land wise biggest conservative? Because I don't know. I think Alabama is probably far more conservative.
I mean like kind of like land size.
No.
But I was kind of shocked. I'm still seeing people. I say it's like a half split between people still wearing their masks. I don't think there's a mask mandate.
There's never been a mask mandate. There's businesses could dictate whether they want people to wear masks and stuff. But I said, I told you this earlier. Like over the past month or so, there's just been less and less people wearing masks.
Still, I mean, it's better than 0%.
That's also true. That is also true.
But at the same time, I'm wondering how many people in Florida are, they're getting their vaccinations. I don't know what that percentage is. I feel like it's going to be rather low.
Right. Yeah.
Again, in like bigger cities, this is everywhere in the U.S. though. Bigger cities tend to lean more towards blue because like everybody's grouped up with each other. But I don't know. I'm vaccinated, so that's pretty good. I would not come down to Florida without being vaccinated.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when you guys were first coming down. I was like, I wonder if they were vaccinated or not, or if they're gonna be like not want to go anywhere because like they're not vaccinated. People don't wear masks down here.
No, we made sure as the one prerequisite before we headed on down here. But it's been really nice. I gotta say, you're a pretty generous host. You let us sleep. I haven't gotten.
It's true.
Haven't gotten so long of sleep in such a long time. So. This is like a vacation. Yeah, usually I only sleep 4 hours, but
do you get woken up by people in your house?
Yep.
Or? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's it.
I see.
Yeah. So, but it's really nice to sleep in.
That would be nice. Yeah.
The only day we kind of woke up early is today. We woke up. I woke up at around 7. You probably at the same time, right?
I set in a lot. I think I got up early before my alarm went off, but I set my alarm for 8:30, and then you knocked on my door at 8:28.
I see.
But I was awake. I was just still in bed, but I was awake when you knocked on my door this morning.
Gotcha. Yeah, and we haven't really done much. We haven't gone to theme parks or anything like that.
Yeah, but you don't got the money for that. Yeah, I don't have the money for that.
That's expensive.
Yeah. And plus also in the summertime, it's a mix of that's when a lot of people are down, so they're going to be more crowded. And also we experienced this at the zoo today, walking around in that sun
is hard.
It's terrible. We didn't stay that very long at the zoo. We showed up, walked around for a little bit, sat down thinking we're going to probably get back up and walk around. Then we were like, maybe we'll go get a drink at the snack bar. So we got some stuff at the snack bar, and while we were there, it was nah, we're good. Let's peace out. Let's go.
Yeah, I think we were. At first, you were kind of like, wait a minute, we could probably look at a little more stuff. And then you started walking again. You're like, no, sitting down was nice.
Yeah, well, I was. After we sat down, I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I can keep going. And then we made the decision to go back to the car, and I was like, okay. And on the way to the car, I was like, thank God we're on the way to the car, not just walking around the zoo anymore, because that sun was beating down hard. It was like the desert.
Yeah.
Humid desert though.
So not the desert.
Yeah, so not the desert.
Like the beach.
Yeah, like the beach.
Like a stranded beach.
Like the stranded beach.
Yeah.
Like a deserted island in the tropics.
Yeah,
the
exactly. Gotta say, you can see what I'm looking at. You cannot see what I'm looking at, but you can see I'm staring at something. I'm staring at some lizards on your patio. There's 3 in eyesight right now. That's another thing about Florida. You guys got more diverse wildlife, I'd say.
We got creatures.
You got some creatures. You're not really seeing lizards down in Massachusetts for some reason. I cannot fathom why.
It's probably the temps and stuff. I mean, I guess in the summer it does get hot, so maybe they even might. But for example, birds can migrate. Lizards to make a trek from one end of the country to the other would probably be difficult.
Yeah, but you do got snakes. That's
true. In Massachusetts, you mean?
Yeah, snakes. Yeah. The garden snakes. So I wonder what they do in the winter. Do they hibernate?
I think they burrow. Yeah, I think they hibernate. Yeah, I was. I'm not a fan. For people listening, I'm not a fan of the lizards. I like seeing them outside. I don't bother them. They don't bother me when like they're on my garage door and stuff like that. And I gotta go in. I just open the door. I'm like, hey, how you doing? So I say hi.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're in the house, it's like I don't freak out, but I can't grab them or anything, and it becomes like a fiasco of just getting them out of the house. And luckily, Joaquin's girlfriend Emma, who was on the podcast earlier, she just grabs lizards, which is fantastic. I gotta hire her or something like to stay down and
can't steal
for
it
when they
from
get in
me.
my house. How many times? It was just one time that lizard.
It was just the one time.
Just one time. But there was a lizard behind like my trash can in my kitchen. And
I thought it was dead. Like it looked really dusty, but no, it was just
it was
apparently
shedding.
it was shedding. So
yeah, because the thing I think is I don't really care about the lizards themselves, but like I don't want them like getting into a place where I can't find them and like they multiply and stuff like that. Like just they're so small they can get into like crevices and stuff like that. That's what freaks me out about them. And it's less about like them themselves. It's more so just the fact that like I could lose them and they're just somewhere in my house and I can never find them.
See, that's the weird thing to me. You consider like lizards pests, and I'm sure Florida as a whole considers lizards pests. But like now, obviously you got like insects too that you would consider pests too. But like down in Massachusetts, you gotta worry about like I don't know, termite infection. But you're out here worrying about lizards like hatching eggs in your home.
Right. I mean, there's still, like you said, there's termites down here and stuff. Granted, I have like a concrete house, so that works out pretty good.
Might pass on by.
Yeah, they might pass on by. There's still mice and stuff down here, but I haven't had a mice problem or anything.
Yeah.
Squirrels. Although I don't think I've ever, no matter where I've been, had a squirrel problem though. I feel like that's like not something that just happens in your house. It's a squirrel problem.
Yeah.
I've had raccoons though. I've had
raccoons.
Not here, but back in Massachusetts. They were in my my chimney.
Really?
Yeah, that happened a couple different times.
A squirrel. Again, I'm gonna have to like take some pictures and maybe show. I don't know about that.
Yeah, maybe. But
interesting wildlife.
We had to like gate off the top of our chimney eventually, like kind of put like a little fence thing on top of it.
Did you even use a chimney like at all for heat?
No. Because we didn't clean it and stuff, and like if you burn it would just get gross and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had a chimney, but we had like a not a fireplace. I don't know what you would call it, like a coal stove. We used coal for heat in the winter, which really sucked because like it smelled terrible.
Was that your only source of heat in the winter? Or did you have like
on our side of the house?
I see.
The other side of the house had like actual heat, but on our side of the house it was a coal stove, and it would get super dry.
Are you sure it was coal? Like it wasn't like pellets?
No, it was coal.
Oh, okay.
We would go to the store and buy some coal. And super dry. That's one thing I'll say. The humidity actually it's been pretty decent besides like today. Today was kind of super muggy and unbearable. It's just not a big fan. But every other day, it's been like the weather has been reasonable. It hasn't hit that point where you're hitting like 100-degree days. At least I don't think so yet.
No, I think probably the highest we hit was maybe like 91. But yeah, come July and August, then it will hit those days, which, it is what it is, I guess. You live through it. You learn to get used to it. It's a trade-off. We talked about this earlier on in the week, too. It's like a trade-off where in Florida, you have like the summers and stuff, they're really hot. In the winters, it does get a little cold and chilly and stuff like that. But versus in Massachusetts, it's like the opposite, where it's the winter, it can get freezing. And in the summer, it does get like really hot, but it's not,
It's not Florida hot, but it's still like occasionally hitting the 90s.
So yeah, it's like a trade-off. It's not even like that one's better than the other, I think.
No.
It just happens to be like a difference.
Yeah, the only way you could like move.
You go to like North Carolina or something like that, something in between.
Basically like North Carolina. I was saying like if you had two houses, if you're super rich, you could just like.
Well, that is what people do. They have the summer house.
Yeah, they have the summer house. They usually like rent them out in Massachusetts when like they go down. I mean, it's a way to get some easy money if you're already rich and have two houses. Don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but people do it.
Yeah, those are a lot of the onset houses are like that, right?
Yeah. It's like I was looking at like apartments and rental places the other day, and that's basically all you would see is just like summer houses. And I don't want to. To me, I don't see much of a point of moving and then having to move out in like 3 months.
Right.
Moving in, moving out. Like if I was staying with like someone for 3 months, that's more understandable. But like, not
right.
going back and forth like that.
I don't know what your revenue intake is like. We don't necessarily have to go into that right now. But I have a friend who was looking for a place to rent, and I talked to them about it. I was like, "Hey, have you just kept looking?" And they're like, "A little bit." But they're like, "But I talked to like my parents, and we did some math, and if like I save up like the majority of my salary of like the next year, I could probably put a down payment on a house." And so I think that's what they're just gonna do. They're just gonna wait for a year.
See, I don't know if I want to own a house so young.
Yeah, I guess that's
one
true.
thing. It's scary owning a house.
It'll be good for credit if you actually are good with it. It's probably a good investment, but obviously it's just a matter of keeping up with it and everything.
Like their homes are so expensive now.
Yeah,
it's getting kind of crazy. The housing market, maybe it'll crash, and then maybe you can just like walk in and buy a $1 house.
I'm sick. It would kind of stink for the people that have houses already, but.
Something else for $1.
That's what I was like whenever the stock market would crash. That was before I started. I don't have stocks, but before I started investing in like things, I would always be like, "Why are people upset that the stock market's like crashing? I'm gonna go buy some stocks for hella cheap and get rich." Or whatever.
Like people invest like all their money into stocks.
Yeah,
which is kind of stupid. We haven't really. I guess we haven't talked about that at all. Like between. Like the last episode was kind of like that big cryptocurrency boom going on. You got like
booms and crashes and booms and crashes.
Yeah, you had like NFTs going on. Terrible.
I still don't understand why that's a thing.
Yeah, it doesn't really make it doesn't make much sense. And you had like Dogecoin. I think Dogecoin is just funny. I don't know about taking it super seriously. I know you're slightly.
I do have money in Dogecoin.
But like,
the thing with I didn't like take out like a loan and invest like a bunch of money into it.
You had
I put money into it that I had extra pocket change to where if Dogecoin doesn't do anything and doesn't go anywhere, it's whatever. I lost like I don't know. Let me do math. Maybe it would be something like 20 candy bars I lost there or something like that.
Right.
And versus if it takes off for some reason, then hey, that's cool. But I think I told you like I'm not selling my Dogecoin until I don't have to work at all for the rest of my life, which might mean I never sell my Dogecoin. Which actually most likely, most definitely means I will not be getting that money back that I put into Dogecoin.
You never know.
But yeah.
Yeah, I wish I like saw Wall Street Bets like a day before the whole GameStop thing went on, because I would have just like gotten as much money as I can. Although I think that's illegal, right? You can't just that's like an insider tip technically, right?
I think it depends on who gives it to you, maybe. But I don't know, maybe. It was fun though. Like I didn't invest any of like those. Like I haven't invested in any stock minus like my free stock that I got from Robinhood when I signed up. But I remember just like it was just an exciting time to just like check stock and see who's getting rich and who's losing and stuff like that.
I remember checking like GameStop stock every once in a while. AMC stock too.
It's pretty crazy. I don't know. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's pretty crazy because we talked before that all that happened on our episode with Jake by himself.
Yep.
We talked about like the demise of theaters and stuff like that.
Yep.
Not
the second it uploaded.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying that the first round, like the first wave of the AMC stock going up, not even talking about like right now, because it is right now going up, but that first wave of it going up, even after like it kind of went back down or whatever, it got rid of all of AMC's losses from 2020.
Yep.
Like completely. So that whole thing that we were talking about, like how are they going to recuperate? Like they might not be ever be the same at that like moment, that like weekend or whatever it was. 100% of like their losses that they like
gone.
They're just gone, and probably even more. They've gotten even more money from like the most recent wave and stuff. It's kind of crazy what people can do.
Maybe theaters aren't going away. At least AMC's not going away for a while.
Well, I think there's open, like a Regal's open. I think there's the Regal in my town is open up and stuff like that.
Yeah, the movie theater's been open for a while. It's just been like COVID precautions.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any movies in theaters since Sonic.
I have a gift card that my sister got me like 2 Christmases ago. It was $100 Regal gift card, and I've been so tempted to go to the movies, like just to see, like, because I don't think they'd be packed anyways. I don't think many people are actually going to the movies, even in Florida. But just to go see something, like, because the last movie I saw in theaters, I think, was Star Wars Episode 9.
So like December of 2019.
Yeah, I think so.
You definitely weren't watching anything in January, because what the fuck comes out in January?
That's true.
But then again, what the hell's out now?
A Quiet Place Part 2 is out now, and I really love the first A Quiet Place, and so I do really want to see that. I heard it's pretty good, so stuff like that. But yeah, they're starting to roll things back out, and I think that there's gonna be I think the pushbacks of like movies because of COVID, I think that will, for the most part, kind of stop happening. I'm not saying that things won't get pushed back as sort of residual. Yeah. But I think it will be more so like, 2 things are on a certain date because of the pushbacks. They want to have it switched so they each have their own kind of opening weekend day, or like they're in a similar genre, and the studios don't want to have to compete with each other. Right. Stuff like that. But I don't think that it's going to be like, well, the movie theaters aren't opening for another, however many months, so we're going to push stuff back even more. So that's a good sign for moviegoers, I think.
You think they're gonna stop doing like putting them on streaming services? Because that's another thing. Like I get that it's because of COVID that they were doing that, but it was honestly kind of nice. It still is kind of nice. HBO Max is still doing it, I think, until 2022. Like all the 2022 movies coming out. I don't know how long Disney's gonna do it. They seem to be releasing some movies for free, and then others you gotta do like premiere access.
Right.
So
the only thing that I'm thinking is why they wouldn't is because it's caused a lot of strain between the studio, along with like their talents, like the directors, the actual filmmakers. There's been a lot of like strain, like Christopher Nolan, who's been like a big WB. That's the only example I can think of. Yeah, it's the only, but it's not the only example. Like there are tons of other directors and filmmakers. Like it's kind of, I don't know if you saw, but so AT&T sold Warner Brothers to Discovery.
Did they sell like all of it, or was like? So what is HBO Max gonna be now?
Well, I think it's still under the Warner Brothers umbrella.
Okay.
I think Warner Brothers owns HBO and stuff like that. Okay. But I don't know. Technically, I don't think the deal, it has to get approved and everything. It has to go through the courts and stuff like that. But basically, a deal has been made to sell. I think it was like for, it's either $4 or $40 billion. I don't know which one it is.
Is that more than they sold to AT&T?
I think they're losing money. But the AT&T shareholders are gonna be like the first shareholders of the new the new joint company of Discovery and Warner Brothers that when it comes out. But like it won't be like, oh well, the AMC or not the AMC, the AT&T shareholders own that, so AT&T still owns it. Yeah. It's like separately, like they each separately own their own share of stocks. It's not like they as a collective are now the board or whatever like that.
To me, it's crazy. Like Warner Brothers has gone through so many mergers and acquisitions. You had like the Time Warner merger, you had the AOL merger, which probably failed more than like the merger with AT&T and Warner Brothers. Like I don't even know why they even try at this point. Are they doing so bad? Like,
well, they're probably gonna get rid of the management of it. I mean, they already one dude already got canned before they was sold. I forget, he was the president or either the president or CEO. I forget what it is of Warner Media. It's either Walter Hamada or another guy. Or Kevin Tsuchihara. It's one of those two. One of them is heading DC. One of them was like the big guy of Warner Bros. I forget which one is which because their names are kind of similar. But whoever the big guy was, he got canned. And it's honestly, people have speculated, like it hasn't been confirmed, but the rumor is that he got canned because he approved the Snyder Cut. Because it was a fucking, like, I love the Snyder Cut. We haven't talked about it.
Did it fail?
What do you mean, financially?
Yeah.
It was.
It's hard to tell, right?
Fail's a weird word. I can say this: it most definitely will not make Warner Brothers money. It most definitely, because like they have to go through like the amount of money they put into it to like make it like to edit it and everything, only for it to be like an HBO exclusive that not a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people did see it that are hardcore comic book fans, stuff like that, and that are just fans of the genre. But like your average moviegoer is not gonna watch a 4-hour cut of Justice League. No. And that's why also I don't want to go too far into Justice League, but we haven't talked about it at all. Yeah. But like I keep seeing people, especially like the Restore the Snyder Cut people, which don't get me wrong, if they let Zack Snyder make more DC movies, I would eat them up. But I hate the Restore the Snyder Cut people on Twitter because they just don't understand the movie fucking business. The movie business does not work how they think it works. Right. But yeah, they were like, why didn't they had this on their hands and they didn't release this? Imagine seeing this in theaters or whatever. And I'm like, you think that the cut that they put out failed financially? You think they put out a 4-hour cut of Justice League that's gonna make money in the theaters? Are you nuts? Are you crazy?
I mean, if they cut it down,
they could. Yeah, they. What was revealed from the Snyder Cut was that they did not need to hire what's his face, Joss Whedon. They did not need to reshoot what they did. They basically just reshot and like tweaked little things, and then had a smaller version of it. They probably almost definitely could have cut this down into a smaller film, and it would have been almost the same story minus a couple story beats. Like in the Joss Whedon one, I know you haven't seen it, but like the Flash, like in that kind of end battle thing, there's like a family on the outskirts that he saves and stuff like that.
I know bits and pieces because I was like,
so it's like small tweaks like that that don't really, I don't know, but
I'm still I know you disagree with me, and I know like everybody like kind of goes against this, but I think what happened was Zack Snyder watched the Joss Whedon cut. He was like, okay, this worked, people like this, and then like he just like improved with whatever footage he had. He did have some of the actors, so reshoots.
It was very minimal reshoots though.
Reshoots weren't off the table. I
don't think he copied Joss Whedon's story. I think if anything, they just had Joss Whedon shoot stupid stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the way I see it, because you look at Man of Steel, you look at Batman vs Superman. I liked Man of Steel. I rewatched it recently. Man of Steel's like a 4 out of 10. Batman vs Superman, I had only seen the first time since actually the first time at all, because I was like preparing for Zack Snyder Justice League, and that movie is even worse than Man of Steel. That movie's like a 3, maybe even a 2 out of 10. So, like, I think hearing like the fan feedback from Justice League, he like could work and tweak and give people the version they wanted. And another thing, going with that, I do not trust Zack Snyder on another DC movie. I know you said you'll eat it up, and I know that Justice League is pretty good. The problem with that is he's 1 out of 3.
Sure.
When it comes to DC movies, he's 1 out of 3. When it comes to his filmography,
hold on. When you say 1 out of 3, do you mean financially?
I mean like,
because that's opinionated. I think he's 3 for 3. I really am I say 3 for 3. Man of Steel, I love. I'm a big fan of Batman vs Superman. I know that's a hot take, but I personally really like that. And I really ate up every second of Justice League, and I would love to see Justice League Part 2. But at the same time, part of me really doesn't want it to happen because I want those Zack Snyder fanboys to get fucked. Apologies.
Yeah, sorry about that. My camera only has a 30-minute time limit. Basically, we were saying like
I like the movies, but Joaquin doesn't. Yeah. And that critically, they were not received well, which is true. And I don't think that that Warner Brothers should give Zack Snyder any movies either. Like I saw on Twitter, people being like, if I was the head of DC, this is what I would do. And it's like, greenlit the Snyder Cut, Man of Steel 2, the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, and like a Cyborg movie, and this, and this. And I was like, you greenlit that first thing, you are fired from like the head of Warner Bros. Will fire you off the bat. Like, are you stupid? You don't know how the movie business works. What are you talking about?
Right. But a lot of DC movies haven't been critical hits. But you know which one kind of was that we watched the other day? Shazam.
True.
We watched Shazam the other day for the first time, and pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, well, I wasn't surprised per se.
I heard good things, but that start was pretty kind of
Starting off, when it started off, I was like, "Are people? Is this the same movie people were talking about?" Because the acting was kind of like bland, the pacing was kind of weird. Like I don't know. It was weird at first, and then once I think as soon as Zachary Levi hit the screen, that's when it was like, okay,
it hits.
We're into it now.
It works.
Yeah,
and that's basically all. Another thing we said was what I personally think DC should do is they should kind of go off the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, make that a whole new universe. If you have to do a universe movie, it seems like at least with Joker that not having it in a universe
can be
kind of
successful.
Yeah. If they had to like shoe in like Ben Affleck Batman in there, that would
because that is a thing. You have a certain level of freedom when you don't have to worry about the cinematic universe. And don't get me wrong, I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we'll talk about that some more in a little bit coming up. Something that recently came out that was pretty mischievous, a little time crazy or something like that. And I really like them, but we'll bring this up when we talk about it. It's getting to the point where things are starting to kind of contradict each other a little bit because they have to play in one sandbox. Versus when they have the solo movies, they got the whole sandbox to themselves, and they can pull everything out of it. So I wouldn't mind seeing a lot more of the solo,
Pretty much. I couldn't have said it better myself. But so I guess we can. Before we jump into the Marvel stuff, Miss Peabody, why don't you hit us with the potato fact of the day?
McDonald's used to serve McCheddar potato bites made with 710 milligrams of sodium.
Thank you, Mrs. Peabody.
Thank you. I wish she was live in person with us, just sitting right here in between us.
Yeah.
Just Tom around Miss Peabody.
Miss Peabody. Yep. Marvel just came out with another Disney Plus show since the last episode. Since the last episode of the Potatocast, there was a whole nother Disney Plus show that came out, which I was pleasantly surprised about. I don't know if you were, but
maybe not surprised. I was expecting it to be good. Falcon and Winter Soldier, obviously, is that one that we're talking about. I didn't like it as much as you did. I mean, I liked it, but you liked it more than WandaVision.
I like it more than WandaVision, yeah.
I like WandaVision more than Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think I just like the character of Wanda, like how she's progressed more. Because Falcon and Winter Soldier was very like standard Marvel stuff, which is not bad.
See, the more I think about WandaVision, the more I kind of hate Wanda.
Well, she's a bad person.
Yeah, but I don't even like agree with like her character, which is what I think like the show was going for. Obviously, she's a bad person for trapping the whole town, but she's not like a villain, So, but the Vision parts were great.
Yeah.
That ending scene, where Vision's like saying goodbye to Wanda.
Beautiful again. Brought a tear to my eye.
Beautiful. But yeah, like after like the first 3-4 episodes, it hit like a brick wall. I'll say that.
Okay.
So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that was kind of full steam ahead all the way through. Had some interesting conflict, I'd say. Surprisingly good acting, because I don't think they were doing Sebastian Stan was doing I don't think he was doing a good job in like the other Marvel movies, but he was doing I actually kind of liked Bucky.
Yeah, they have to flesh him out more, so give him more personality. And stuff. Yeah, they gave him more screen time.
Fair. I like Bucky in this. I like Sam in this.
I think my problem with it is it's very minor because I enjoyed it a lot, the show. But I think the minor problem I have with it is kind of the opposite of your problem with WandaVision. You thought it was started off really good and then it kind of hit a brick wall. Mine was this show was going, and then at the end it just fizzled out. It just kind of it could have gone more. It could have I think a couple extra episodes could have done some wonders for this TV show, I think.
No, I gotcha. I understand what you mean by that. But to me, I think it kind of ended in a pretty nice spot. I think it was pretty well paced. I don't think it was like abrupt as abrupt as you're saying it was. Personally, I think they set it up pretty well. And Captain America 4 got announced after. It's funny that they waited to announce Captain America 4 was coming out. Like they didn't do it at the the 21 Expo. They're like with the whole other like movie slate. They just plod that on.
That's cool. End. I liked it. I kind of hope it is called Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I know they already have one called Captain America the Winter Soldier, and just adding an "and" might be. But I think it's kind of a fitting kind of title.
Right.
I think it'd be cool. And then I'm sure we'll probably actually see Steve Rogers in there. I was kind of expecting to see an old Steve Rogers in this show, but we didn't, and I was fine with him holding him off. I'm glad with focusing more on Sam. Don't overshine him with Steve or anything. But I imagine we're probably going to see Steve again. I don't think he's on the moon. I think, he's having porridge or tapioca pudding in his kitchen.
Oh, so you don't think he's dead?
No, I don't think he's dead. I think he's dead? I think he's alive. I think
that was something I was thinking of. I was thinking maybe they left him alone. Old man Cap is just like sitting by himself, and everybody else thinks he's dead. But I don't know. I could definitely see it going that way.
Well, he might have been confirmed for the cast already. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, they did like the Spider-Man, at the beginning of Far From Home, they did like the end remembrance of sequence, and that had Cap in it. So pretty up in the air right now. I'm leaning more towards dead, but I could definitely see it. But as for the next show that came out, Loki.
Okay, so before we get into Loki, let's go and break down every single thing that happened in the episode before we talk about it. No, it was good. We were I could have sworn there were 2 episodes that dropped at one time. I could have sworn there were going to be 2. And we went on Disney Plus last night, and there was sadly just 1.
I was hoping for 2. Yeah. You got my hopes up? Bro, that's another thing. During this whole week, Jason's been getting my hopes up.
I keep hyping stuff up.
And it's not even that he's like shot them down. It's just that he's like,
yeah, I'm like, we gotta go to this pizza place. It's like the best pizza I've had, minus this one other place. And then Joaquin's like, it's okay, pizza. And then I'm like,
he's setting the bar too high.
Yeah.
Like,
what were other
expectations?
Did we watch a movie that I hyped up too? I forget. Or did we?
No, I think it was the pizza. It was.
Oh, I also was like, this part of town's really run down, and then we went there, and it was kind of.
It was okay.
It was okay.
It was okay. But I think I don't know. Loki, I really liked it. Obviously we got to see more.
Yeah,
I feel it's so stereotypical to be like, I like the first episode, but we got to see more. But what else can you say?
Right. It is kind of similar to kind of how WandaVision started. Not exactly as vague as how WandaVision was when it started, but when WandaVision, the first episode, I kind of talked about this in the WandaVision episode that we did, where it was like, it was good, it was fun, but you kind of don't really know exactly, it didn't give you like the full scope of everything. Yeah. I'm sure it's not going to go exactly how we're thinking and stuff like that. No, but it was a fun, it's good to see Loki again. You brought up a good point that like, it's supposed to be the 2012 Loki, but Tom Hiddleston is just getting older and older, so it doesn't look like.
They show footage of like the first Avengers movie. They don't really show any Thor footage. They show Thor the Dark World footage, but not any like the first Thor.
Right.
But you could like see the difference between like the 2 Tom Hiddlestons, and it's kind of funny, seeing that. He's definitely got some more wrinkles on his face. They're probably using a lot more makeup to try to mask it, but it slips through the cracks sometimes.
Right. Man, it's been almost nearly a decade since that movie.
True. You're definitely gonna age.
Yeah.
Do you want to get right into the plot hole? I'm sure if you're watching this, you've seen Loki.
Yeah.
But if not, spoilers. Whatever.
My major thing, so hopefully you've seen the episode.
There's probably gonna be another episode out by the time this comes. So.
But at least in the first episode. It starts off basically right off the bat after what happens in Endgame, where he like takes a Tesseract, or that version of him takes a Tesseract, and so the TVA come and they arrest him right away, and they're like, you're arrested for crimes against the timeline. And initially I was like, well, that's weird because the Avengers all time traveled and they're not getting arrested for crimes against the timeline. And then they try to explain it later on in the episode when he's at court, and he's like, well, what about the Avengers? If you want anybody, go after them. I know there were 2 Tony Starks there. I can smell the cologne on him. Like he was definitely time traveling. That's why this happened. And then they were like, well, that's different because they were supposed to time travel in the timeline.
Yeah.
But then there's the plot hole of in Infinity War, Doctor Strange, when he goes through all the different scenarios in which they win, there's only one out of however many he looked at scenarios in which they beat Thanos. And so they had to have had Loki grab the Tesseract in that one version of how it plays out in order to beat Thanos. And so, like, it just doesn't make sense that Loki broke a crime, even though like if the Avengers were meant to do that, like it
no,
was.
I get what you're saying.
It gets muddy is the only thing, and that's why I told this to you last night. I think if to get the best enjoyment out of this, you just have to turn your brain off. You can't think about how does this fit together, how does this all like canonically make sense.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to go with the flow and be like, just take it for what it is. But I think I'm still gonna enjoy it. I'm not saying that as in like, oh, I'm gonna hate this show because I'm gonna analyze it super hard and stuff like that. But that is just like the thing where there's these bigger plot holes, and like, for example, like Doctor Strange with the Time Stone, like in like the Doctor Strange movie, how many times does he time travel with Dormammu and stuff like that?
He was meant to do that.
I know. Well, he was meant to do it like however many times he did it. So I don't know. It's kind of plotless, but that's what you kind of get when you go into like a time travel show like this. You're bound to have stuff like that. Even in Avengers Endgame by itself, there are plot holes with the time travel, and now you're gonna even further the time travel stuff.
I'll say that Doctor Strange saying that there was only one possible outcome. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that there was only one. I think even at the time it was kind of like a strange thing to say, because that's to say that even if they like cut off both Thanos' hands somehow, he would still find a way to use the time stones. Are you telling me in like all the possibilities? Oh, also only 8 million possibilities. Like
that's true.
And
there kind of are infinite multiverses, or at least in terms of.
Apparently not. That's another thing this show directly says, that to prevent multiverses, like this is what the timeline used to be split in so many pieces, but to prevent multiverses, like they condense it down to one timeline.
Right.
Which I don't know if I necessarily buy that either, because like we have like those Spider-Man movie leaks kind of.
Well, I think that originally I was just like, oh, this is gonna be a fun little Loki series or whatever. But I think after watching this episode, I was like, this is gonna tie more into the larger, because I think that's.
I think the whole Disney Plus universe is kind of. Fucking Winter Soldier didn't really do that, but every other show seems to be kind of messing around with the idea of like alternate reality.
Well, I think that's going to be the kind of big theme of this phase, or maybe even the next phase. Like they had the Infinity Saga.
Yep.
I think now it's going to be messing with time and multiverses, because literally they nearly say multiverse of madness in this episode. Like they literally say like they like put all the multiverses together so there isn't like a war of madness or something. Like that's literally the title of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So I think it's going to tie more into that and like the Wanda stuff. Wanda obviously ties in Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange and Wanda, that's tying into Spider-Man. This literally said Multiverse of Madness. I'd be surprised if this doesn't lead into that as well. And Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium, the villain is Kang the Conqueror, who's a time traveler. I think this is all, bleeds more together than perhaps
this whole one big thing.
And,
I mean, they pulled it off with Infinity War. They pulled it off there, a couple hitches along the way, but they mostly stuck to it. But I see the thing with the plot hole. It's funny that you mentioned like the Doctor Strange thing. Last night you mentioned kind of like a different kind of adaptation of that plot hole. You said like, well, how is it like against him to do that if like he grabbed the stone? You said the way I kind of like, I'm saying this kind of in a weird way. What I think we didn't see is the timekeepers or whoever they are use like one of those reset pads to kind of reset that whole area. And I think the Avengers were I believe them when they said the Avengers were always meant to go back in time. But maybe there was, if anything, Hulk is the main culprit. Yeah. Because without like Hulk knocking Tony, the Tesseract would not have fallen. So I think Hulk definitely should have been the one to get like reset. But I don't know. I think maybe Loki was framed. That's another thing I was thinking last night. He was framed. He's not actually in trouble, but they just wanted him anyways to get like more information, because it's revealed in this episode that another Loki, another alternate reality Loki is causing trouble across timelines and creating like new separate timelines that like the timekeepers have to like keep resetting, and they want this Loki to help them find him. So I guess Loki in a way is playing like a hero before we get like Thor Ragnarok Loki.
Right.
So, it's interesting to see what they're gonna do with it. I hope they do like a bunch of dumb fun time stuff, because that's honestly one of my favorite things in movies. Back to the Future, that trilogy is like one of my favorite trilogies of all time. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I know. I think it'll be fun. And also, I was also thinking, so Eternals is another movie that's coming out soon, and that doesn't necessarily have to do with like time travel and stuff like that, like the multiverses per se. But like, I'm pretty sure the people that like that they were referring to, that like put the the things that put the multiverse together into the one main timeline. They're the oh god, I'm blanking on it. They're basically what creates the Eternals in the comic books, but I can't fucking think of what their name is.
Yeah.
We see them in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, like when they're talking about the stones and stuff like that.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy 1?
Yeah, when they're talking to the collection master, collector or whatever. He shows them like the history of the stones, and we literally see one of them. I know the names of them, but I'm just blanking. But yeah, so I think those are those, and they make the Eternals initially using the comic books. We don't know how it's gonna play out in the movies and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know, just a lot of things tying together. Yeah. And I think that again, I still think the one linchpin to all this will be Wanda, which is why I really love WandaVision. I think just because she's so powerful, perhaps that like she's able to like the time variant people, like even though they're like the ultimate power in the universe, basically, like she's even more powerful than that. And she can like get the different multiverses.
Right.
Like that.
No, I gotcha.
But it's up in the air. It's like a lot of just like after watching, I was trying to come up with like different theories and like explanations for things or what might happen, and I was just like, there's so much like jumbled information, I can't even make anything out of it. But I'm excited to watch the rest of it. I think it'll be fun.
Another thing that's just kind of fun to look back on is like Iron Man 1 is so tame in comparison to what we have going on now. Like if let's say we started off with WandaVision. Obviously we wouldn't, because that's a TV show and they're trying to go for like a cinematic universe. But let's say we started off with WandaVision. This would have failed instantly. You were talking about like them greenlighting another Zack Snyder movie and then getting fired instantly. I think Disney would like burn the guy at the stake that approved that.
Probably who approved it. I mean, it depends, because there's certain things that like you just wouldn't know how it would play out if that was the first thing, because there's obviously story elements that have to do with past things. But yeah, it probably would fail if it was exactly how it was and it was the first thing they put out.
Flop.
I mean, it's a good show though. It's just that I think
it would be super confusing.
It'd be confusing. Like, it'd be confusing though.
It would only be for comic fans, but then comic fans would be like, okay, but like, why are all these things so different?
Right.
So, yeah, I guess we don't want to go on for too long,
Yeah.
We already had to split it once. I don't want to have to split it again. So, Jason, I guess where can people find you?
Right here on this couch.
He lives on what is it? It's like you're supposed to stop me.
Dairy Parkway.
Okay.
San Francisco, Ohio.
Okay, all right. He lives in Florida, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Florida, Massachusetts.
And
Joker, where can people find you?
They can find me 12-star, Twitter. I was about to say Facebook, but I don't have a Facebook. YouTube. That's it. I'm not.
It'll be in the description, everything.
Yeah, if I'm gonna stream, I don't think I'll do it on Twitch. I want to stream on YouTube.
He's a Mixer guy.
Fucking, I hate Mixer, but I honestly hate Twitch even more now. They've been slipping. Not even like the hot tub shit. I mean, just like the quality, like Twitch streams. I mean, like literal, like technical quality of Twitch streams has been slipping in comparison to like YouTube streaming. So,
cool.
Yeah. All right. But Jason, thank you for letting me stay at your house, and
get out now. Go. This is the only reason why I let you stay, so we could film this. Now it's time for you to scurry along.
It's not till 2 days.
Yeah, well, you'll figure it out.
All right, well, see ya.
You're not moving. Get up.
All right.
Go. Go.
Okay, I'm leaving. You can't stop me. Nope, not even if you tried.
You keep going.
You sure?
Yep.